If you're only posting walkthroughs on your property social media, you're missing out on tons of potential content, meaning you're missing out also on leads and leases. In this video, I want to share 7 types of social media content that you can post for your property and teach you how to attract attention, build trust, and lease more units. Hi, my name is Alisa, and I teach property managers how to master modern marketing without breaking the budget. Let's face it, most property social media just use walkthroughs as their social media content, which is great. It's an amazing type of content. However, you're missing out on different types of content that you can create and attract different type of groups or also create more engagement. Your problem is that you're only using one type of content, meaning that you're missing out on a bunch of views and engagement that you could get using other types of videos. And honestly, it doesn't have to be that complicated. So to stand out, you need a good variety and you need diversity and strategy. In this video, I'm going to break down everything to you, and also in the description, I have a link to a checklist of all the shots that you need to take once you're going on site. You only need one day on site to create all your content, yes, and then you can just use it endlessly throughout your time at work. Of course, let's start with our walkthroughs. As I said before, this is the most popular type of content that we see in real estate social media. The purpose of this video is to showcase the property room by room and provide this virtual experience. This became super popular during COVID time, where we're not able to go visit physical places, so we would see our properties with virtual tours or video tours. However, some of these videos become too boring and they're not necessarily good for social media. You want to add sometimes more narrative, you want to invest in a gimbal and make the transition smoother. If you're not comfortable being in front of the camera, you can always add voiceover
or even AI voiceover at this point.
But you want to create a nice narration and lead your viewer through the story that you're providing in this video. This content is usually a longer type of format. I would say a good property walkthrough should be around 1 minute. Again, depends really on the property and how big it is, and also depends on how you edit. Sometimes I like to cut off like the little transitions of walking from one hallway to another, especially if we have seen it before. Again, walkthroughs are an amazing type of content. However, they don't necessarily create awareness. For walkthroughs, we want to use them in our consideration stage. This is when we have someone who is already interested in our property. They're gonna go on the page and click on the walkthrough because they're actually considering to move into your property. So again, this content is super important, but it would not gain you any awareness on social media. However, what will gain you amazing awareness and views is the property overviews. Property overviews is a shorter format to showcase your property, and they usually go with some hooks, with some amazing transitions or amazing amenities. These videos are usually formatted in short clips montaged together to showcase all the important aspects of the property. So they usually go from a few seconds of drone shots, then we're gonna go capture like the nice rooms, furnitures, finishes, and then showcase very briefly the amenities and if there are any important landmarks or anything important in the neighborhood. I recommend having those videos anywhere, preferably under 15 seconds. You want to have as many interesting and diverse shots within the 30 seconds, and also use some controversial or interesting hooks. Again, you can either say it or use it as a text caption over the video. Important tip when editing: if we have a clip of a pool and it's like 3 seconds, however, you don't necessarily need the 3 seconds. You can cut it down to 1 second. Make sure that every single clip that you're adding to your overview video provides value. And also, it has to be entertaining so our viewer doesn't get bored. This is why we want to have multiple different shots, and we also want to have multiple different movements in these shots. It can be zoom in, zoom out, orbit, something interesting that provides more depth and interest to our viewer. Next type of content format that you can offer on your page is educational and value content. You have no idea how amazing this tool can be. Like on daily basis as a property manager, you get thousands of questions, and I know you have thousands of times to respond with the same thing over and over. So why not to use this knowledge and bring it on camera and share on social media? That way you can already eliminate people who are viewing your social media They might have a question, but you already responded to it. So you might avoid any future questions coming up during your tours or in your DMs. This type of videos can be like any FAQ questions, like 3 things renters forget about, how to save on your security deposit, what does credit check actually means, all this type of stuff that we hear on every single day. You can, again, either put yourself in front of the camera and basically repeat everything that you're saying on daily basis. This puts like some personality and it builds trust whenever you watch like a human person interacting with you. Or if you're camera shy, you can always use like Canva templates and put this informational knowledge on like nice edited templates and then post it as a photo carousel. And it works perfectly both on Instagram and TikTok. Both platforms offer this option. Next type of video format is going to be user-generated content, also known as UGC, or lifestyle content. In this type of videos, you always want to have like a main character. So we're always going to see a persona using our space. This type of content is amazing, and this is what captures people's attention because they can actually visualize how they might experience your space. So this is to create some built-in connection and provide a different point of view. You can always record yourself or you can record your colleagues. If you're comfortable with having residents, you can get like a local influencer, or you can hire a UGC content creator, again, within your community, someone who's going to create a genuine content about your property. This can be just filmed as B-rolls of them using the space, or they can use it from the first persona and create some story. And this type of videos, you always see them. This is like POV, come tour with me, this apartment, or day in a life living in this apartment. This type of content is amazing. It creates emotional appeal, it humanizes the property, and make a very nice soft sell. Next, let's tackle behind the scenes. Everyone loves watching behind the scenes. This type of content we can see and we don't usually get to see on our daily day-to-day basis. It's amazing if you have a construction site and you can show behind the scenes of construction, because not everyone of us get to experience this type of work. Or if you're a property manager, it's also amazing to show your behind the scenes and how you operate on day-to-day basis, because again, people are not very familiar with this type of content and they're naturally curious. Or on the other side, you might attract other property managers or you might attract other maintenance teams who can relate to your problems, and thus they're going to create more comments, more engagement, and it's going to only create more visibility for your property. The purpose of this video is obviously to create transparency, relatability, and trust. You don't always have to include your team or yourself in these videos. You can also use, for example, if you're doing renovations, you can do before and after, or same with the cleaning. If you had like a very messy resident, you can do before and after, or just show like a very technical things about your job. For example, we can also talk very important questions like how security deposit gets deducted. So you can literally show an example of one unit. This resident left this off. This is why we deducted certain points. So make them both educational, but also provide perspective from your job. Trust me, no one knows your job better than you. And sometimes as property manager, we get a lot of negative feedback. So maybe that's an opportunity for yourself to clear the name and show exactly how everything works. Also behind the scenes, you can include any updates that you're gonna add to the property. For example, today we're installing new mailboxes, or this is a recap of the resident event that we had yesterday. This is all type of behind the scenes that you can also use for your property. Another one of my favorite is testimonials and resident feedback. Again, if you don't have any UGC content creators on site, you can always post like written commentary. You can literally screenshot them from your Google page and then create like a nice template on Canva and post it as a carousel. Purpose of this type of content is to create social proof and build credibility. Again, very similar to UGC, but not necessarily you don't have to hire anyone, but use your social media to create some type of community. First, I will encourage your residents to follow you on social media and potentially tag you on social media. That way you can repost their content. It's also going to be amazing for you because it provides a social proof from other people and not just you as a property manager. And finally, let's talk about social media trends on TikTok and Instagram. I can bet my life I know this is a very strong word, but I bet you can turn any social media trend and adapt it to real estate. Trust me, it is important to adapt those trends and recreate them for your own property. It's important because you can stay current, people find it funny, it can go viral because this is what currently is trending and this is what people are currently watching. Use popular sounds, and then you can also showcase your unit. You can also record yourself doing certain trends, lip syncing. There's such a big variety. Also on Canva, there's a whole template page where you can use a bunch of video memes, and you have no idea how viral these ones can go. Literally, I dare you to open your social media app, and the first trend that you see, think about it. How can I adapt this to my business? How can I make this about me? Then immediately you're gonna have a bunch of ideas. Now let's conclude. Once you master the 7 types of media content, you'll have an amazing strategic content plan for your property. You'll be able to build true connections, create a community, and attract viewers who are genuinely interested in your property and who are gonna convert into true leads. Let's break it down into 3 benefits. The first one, again, more qualified leads. They're gonna approach you because they already know what they're looking for. They're most likely to convert. So all you need to do is literally bring them on site and make the sale. Number 2 is brand recognition. Being consistent across all platforms is gonna create a name for your brand and also gonna make you stand out among other competitors. Better brand recognition. If you post consistently across all platforms, it's not just gonna create a new brand visibility for you, but it's gonna make you stand out across other competitors. It's gonna create trust and familiarity across viewers, so they're gonna be more likely to approach you rather than anyone else. And number 3, higher engagement. With higher engagement, you obviously get more followers and you're more likely to get people to come back to your page and then later on consider moving in. Let's face it, people are always moving around. If at a certain point they're still in the middle of the lease, they're not considering moving, but they know in 6 months they will be, they want to have your page saved so they can come back in 6 months and check out your property. So it's important to stay active and engaged consistently. Thank you so much for watching, and I would like for you to click the subscribe button. I'm also really looking forward to connect with more property managers. I'll be happy to provide more tools, specifically free tools for you to boost your property's marketing.